We're going to do hometown shows at Madison Square Garden to blow the whole thing out and, blah, blah, blah. Cap off 50 years of whatever. But they've been doing some form of a farewell show for about 25 years. So they go, this is it. We're not going to tour anymore, or we're not going to do a world tour. So I say, well, I guess it's time to see Kiss. So I dropped some coin to see them in Detroit in October. These sons of bitches decide we're going to add a couple more dates. And so they bookend Detroit with Cincinnati and Cleveland. So anyway, it's no loss, but I would rather see them here than go see them. Nevertheless, I'll take care of that, but I'll also take care of your Kiss tickets. They have set Sunday, October 22nd as their very last show in Cleveland at the Romo Fijo. So I will have Kiss tickets for you all next week. They announced the show this morning. The tickets for you will go on sale tomorrow. RocketMortgageFieldhouse.com. I'll also have Royal Blood tickets for you next week. Put you on the Cleveland Funny Bus. Passes Monday and Tuesday. Bill will be your host for our next Alan Cox Show night on the Funny Bus Wednesday. And then if you want to join us for Buzzard Fest, we'd love to have you, man. We're excited about the return of Buzzard Fest. It's been gone for a couple of decades, and so we're bringing it back. That is Friday, August 4th in North Ridgeville. Incubus, Bush, Filter, Live, Welshly Arms, and others. BuzzardFest.com, simply enough. Get you all the details, but I'll have tickets for you next week. Sorry. For all that. You know what else I have tickets for? I'm not going to go into great detail here. I will just tell you that we're going to do this.
I can't wait.
Because I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Uh-oh. What is it?
I am going to give away Taylor Swift tickets.
What? That's not true.
It is true.
It is true. On Wednesday, June the 14th, I will be giving away Taylor Swift tickets on this show. Now, you're going to have to go to Pittsburgh, but if you're a Taylor Swift fan, you don't care.
That's nothing.
You would go to Slovenia to see Taylor Swift, all right? She's playing in Pittsburgh at whatever the Three Rivers Stadium is now, Acrisure Stadium. She's only doing like football stadiums and stuff. So June 17th, that Saturday night, Taylor Swift is in Pittsburgh. But that Wednesday on this show, I will give someone a pair of tickets to see Taylor Swift. Now, you're saying to yourself, Alan, why? Why? Because it's hilarious. That's why.
Give them to me and Cody.
No,
I couldn't name 3 Taylor Swift songs.
Yes, you can.
Yes,
But you could.
You can name.
You, moms, daughters, gay men, straight men who finally just gave up because someone near them really likes Taylor Swift. They got sucked in.
Hey, Corey Roddick loves Taylor Swift.
Corey Roddick is an enigma wrapped in a riddle, wrapped in a mystery. I love him, but you say one thing about him, you cannot pin him down, boy.
We are going to find a fun way to give these away.
We are. So I'm just letting you know now, somebody is going to win a pair of Taylor Swift tickets from the Alan Cox Show on Wednesday, June the 14th. You'll have to come to this window.
I was going to say, I don't want to be involved in this one because I will get pummeled.
This isn't about you, Poundcake.
I don't want to do it.
It's about the Swifties.
I know, they're mean.
What do you mean they're mean? They're only mean if you make them mad.
That's anything. Hey, give us tickets.
Well,
I don't have them.
2 people are going to get tickets. I have 1 pair.
So are you going to pick 2 individual people?
No,
or are you
no,
gonna
you
pick...
have one
somebody
winner.
1 winner.
I remember.
And they're +1. Now, I will also tell you, these are terrible tickets.
Well, yeah.
That doesn't
But
matter.
you'll be in the stadium. It won't matter. You will be there on Saturday, June 17th at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh to see Taylor Swift. Courtesy of the Alan Cox Show on WMMS.
Wow.
How exciting.
I don't play Taylor Swift. She seems very talented. And from what I can tell, keeping my ear to the ground in all things music, she seems quite popular.
I remember when I felt the wrath of the Swifties. There was a award show. I don't know if it was MTV Music Awards or a Grammy or whatever it was. Ed Sheeran won instead of Taylor Swift. and Taylor Swift like jumped up on screen. It was like, oh my God, I'm so happy for my friend. Gave him a big hug. And I went on Twitter. I was like, oh my gosh, can Taylor Swift please sit down? Attention-seeking ass bitch. And then like all the Swifties, like it was like for 3 days.
They treated you like Kanye.
They're like, why can't she support her friend? Blah blah blah. They were in. Java Joel had to come to my defense. That's how bad it was. Like they were trolling me so bad that back.
And he's usually the one getting in trouble for something he tweeted.
Java Joel was like, oh, holy crap, you pissed off the Swifties. I was like, I know.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
So ever since then, I ain't fooling with the Swifties.
But what happens if you upset them?
They just make your life hell.
How? Mean tweets? Who cares?
But it was real mean. I couldn't see anything
So
else on my
what?
timeline.
They make your life hell. They make you. They sent you mean tweets.
Yeah, but they were calling my
If your
nose
life
big.
is on Twitter, then yeah, that's making. But
At that time, my life was on Twitter, and they made
So
my Twitter
sad.
life hell.
wow.
I'll stick to the beehive.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I don't know who's going to come to this window, and we're going to figure out how we're going to give you these tickets. But I'm just letting you.
I have an idea that I'm going to tell you in the next break.
Okay.
And I think it's pretty funny.
No, I was tossing around some ideas this morning, and I've landed on a couple that I like, but I'm not sure. We'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
We got some time, but I'm just letting you know
Actually, I'll just send it to the group chat.
that I'll be sending somebody to Taylor Swift in Pittsburgh.
They have to come to the window and shake it off. So whoever can, just by shaking, lose the most amount of clothing, they win. Shake it off, shake it off.
Now, that song I know. And I know, did she have a song called Bad Blood?
Yes.
I just remember because it had a bunch of hot actresses in the video, right?
So if you have bad blood, whether it's AIDS or whatever else might make your blood turn bad, you get tickets.
Write your letters to Mary Santora, courtesy of the Alan Cox Show. See, the thing with that is I think...
that too
I
old?
think it's too... No, I think it's too exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
We got to find that sweet spot where they're going to... Because Bill and I had initially said, hey, we should have moms answer Metallica trivia for Taylor Swift tickets. But
That
they...
doesn't have anything to do with Taylor Swift, though.
Well, but
that was the bit.
That was the bit, is that it's
We
funny
are a
to
rock
us,
station
right? But
giving
also,
away Taylor Swift tickets.
Also,
So
they
you gotta
would know,
acquiesce.
but they would know nothing. So that would be no fun for anybody. So we got to figure out something that like they can do and will be fun. It's still on brand for the show. We'll figure it out. But I imagine we'll probably have more people at this window than we've ever had before for anything.
It's going to cause a traffic
And it's an artist that has nothing to do with a radio station.
Don't you remember?
But she's one of those artists that transcends all the genres and everything.
They say that, but I don't
Yeah.
understand what they
We've
mean when
never
they say
played her on
that.
WMMS.
She doesn't transcend
I mean,
all genres. I mean,
popularity-wise. Like,
yeah, sure, okay.
she's just so popular that
Yes.
it's worth doing a dumb bit to
Right.
give away some tickets.
That-
There's got to be something.
That's what
we
I
can
said. You're
come
not
up
you're
with.
not filling football stadiums. She did like 3 nights at Gillette Stadium. You're not filling football stadiums because you have a narrow fan base.
I think this accidentally happened another time, the last time she came to Cleveland. Remember our phone lines were jamming up and we were getting like people from Kiss FM and they were calling and they were like, hey, there are Taylor Swift tickets. And then you said like you were trolling them because they thought they were going to get them and then they hung up on you. Don't you remember this?
Was this my one of my Tumbleweed Dan bits? Or-
Yes, yeah.
okay.
It was like 2016, 2017, something like that.
Right, they were calling. Well, but there was also that period of time where the phone lines were just getting randomly crisscrossed with like Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So we were getting people calling an Orlando radio station trying to win tickets. And that was really fun because then you just string them along.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a good time.
She wasted her time. She was like, damn it. You know, whatever she was in line to win, she ain't winning it now.
Yeah, so we'll figure it out, but I'm just putting that out there for you that we're going to be doing that. So if you or someone you know is trying to get Taylor Swift tickets, I'll be able to send you to that Pittsburgh show on June the 17th. And then here's the kicker, though. I will expect some kind of recap the following week. And hopefully that recap will involve some kind of poor decision-making, or, I mean, I hope that it'll be a recap with a hook. Not just, oh, my God, it was amazing. I mean, I assume that. That's kind of baked into the cake. I've inferred that from people. And I imagine if any one of us went to that show, it'd be like, oh, man, she's great.
Well, when she sang
But I don't care, and I don't know. These are for you,
Right.
the Taylor Swift fan.
When she was at the Rock Hall induction, She sounded great.
Yeah, she's
and
great.
yeah.
Yes. Who did she induct?
Carol
King?
Carol King, yeah.
Carol King. Yeah. I was reading, I heard Stansbury talking about it. I kind of Googled it, and it's funny. They're talking about something called Taylor Swift amnesia, where people are going to these shows and saying, I can't remember it when I leave. A 25-year-old girl who lives in New York said, post-concert amnesia is real. I went to the show. It's an amazing songs all night long. If I didn't have the video that my friend took of me jamming to it, I would have never remembered it. And I think this is probably, I think she's kind of given away the issue here, which is that everybody's filming these shows and not really watching the shows. And so you're kind of separating yourself by one.
Well, she said her friend was filming it. So
right, but I guarantee she's got her phone up too.
No, I think she's probably freaking out and just having such a good time. And you have so much adrenaline. I feel like I've had moments like this where you are so in the moment that when it's all over, like you really can't recall completely what happened.
I disagree.
I took my older...
I couldn't like tell you, like I had a great time at Coheed a month ago or a few weeks ago. Don't know exactly, even though I know the album, they played an album straight through, still couldn't say exactly how it all went.
Had you taken an edible?
No.
I remember taking my older daughter to Billie Eilish a couple years ago in Detroit, and it was phenomenal. And I remember the whole thing. And we were filming parts of it, and it was, it was a wild, wild show.
But you're not all geeked up like these ladies.
I mean, I was pretty geeked up.
You
for
think
John
that's what
Mayer.
you think it's like adrenaline and...
Well, I think there's different kinds of people. I think
What?
Mary is a type A person, so she's locking it all in. If you're just a emotional dummy where you are just so in the moment that you can't even remember because you're so hyper about it, you're probably drunk. You got to take into the fact that you're drunk.
I was so in the moment at John Mayer. I was sobbing. I was screaming.
Right, but I'm saying, but also
mean?
sober and also like you have that kind of memory.
Yeah.
You have a very good memory.
That's why I never understood when I would watch like the Michael Jackson concert films and all the people would be passing out.
Concert films.
Well, yeah, it was like whatever he was like performing live.
Yeah.
People would be passing out or like being pulled out on stretchers. I'm like, I can't imagine you saved your whole life to go to a Michael Jackson show and then you just get hot or you get overexcited and you get pulled out on a stretcher. I'm like, I want my money back.
If I met John Mayer, I might get lightheaded.
Oh, I met
like
John
if
Mayer.
I got a chance to talk to him and be like, I don't even think I would know what to say.
Bill met John Mayer.
I heard.
He
I didn't get lightheaded.
John opened for him on a stand-up show.
I didn't open. I wasn't on the show. I was just hanging out.
It was Mayer/Squire.
And if you saw him do stand-up, you might.
I know. I might feel differently.
Have all these feelings go away.
You want to talk about a show you wouldn't remember after you left? I think it's more the Mandela effect, too, when these Taylor Swift message boards get going and all these girls are like, I don't remember it either. I waited 6 months and then I left and I feel guilty because I can't remember. I mean,
I don't know about it 6 months later, but like I could see like in the moment right after the show be like, what did she play? I don't remember. But like I feel like I would have recall at some point.
Well, listen, if you're doing one of these stadium shows that's 2 hours long and you're working in 30 songs, right, you're not going to remember
every single
song. But apparently it's gotten to such a point where people are remarking on it and trying to make it a thing. I don't know. iHeartRadio app, if you listen to us there, you're going to find that little red talkback button. You can always leave us quick messages there, too.
Alan, Ken in Pittsburgh here. Settle a debate for me at work. Is Pittsburgh part of the Midwest or the East Coast? Growing up in Cleveland, I always felt like I was a Midwesterner, so it feels pretty similar here. But people native think it's an East Coast city, so help me out here. Hate the show.
When I live in Pittsburgh, I always refer to it as the beginning of the East Coast, like the Midwest of the East Coast, which doesn't really make much sense because by the time you get to Philly, obviously it's like East Coast or whatever. But I only considered Pittsburgh Midwesternish kind of in the vibe of the city. But geographically, I would not consider Pittsburgh the Midwest. I think the Midwest ends The Midwest kind of ends in Ohio, right?
I had an
Geographically.
argument. Last time I was in Minnesota, I was playing St. Paul, and I had a discussion after the show where people from Minnesota were saying that Ohio was East Coast. That they were like,
I think that's
Ohio
patently
is
false.
not Midwest. And then I had to talk to them where I was like, there's Midwest like Great Plains, and then there's Midwest like Great Lakes, because Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, like anything touching one of the Great Lakes is definitely Midwest.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Midwest ends at the Dakotas and goes to Ohio.
But then you can argue that parts of like Buffalo, New York,
No.
that's a Midwest city. That's not an
No.
East Coast city. Buffalo's exactly like Cleveland.
But it's not now you're talking about vibe, but that's not the Midwest. I think he's talking geography.
Well, and look at the map. It's what?
Well,
Buffalo's
here's what it says.
120 miles.
The Midwest, the federal government defines the Midwest as Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, the Dakotas, Ohio, and Wisconsin. So we are the end of the
We're the
Midwest.
last of it.
Yeah, geographically.
And then Kentucky starts the south, right?
I believe so.
Where's the Mason-Dixon line?
The southern border of Pennsylvania, and then along the southern borders of Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. That's the Mason, like the river there, right? That's the Mason-Dixon
so then
line.
Pennsylvania, New York, all the tiny states, that's all East Coast.
That's the Atlantic region. Yeah, that's like the North Atlantic region, I think is what that's called.
Because
But-
like Maine, you wouldn't refer to Maine as an East Coast.
Yeah, you would.
No.
Maine's the
Really?
East Coast. It's literally on the East Coast.
I know
yeah.
that. That's what I'm saying, but I've never heard of someone being like, yeah, I'm from Portland. I'm from the East Coast, Portland, Maine.
It's East Coast. I mean,
I don't know.
yeah. And you're
I
going
mean,
to
there's parts
LA.
of
You
Florida that
know
are
that's the
technically
West
the
Coast.
East Coast too.
You know LA is the West Coast, Mary? Do you know
I
that
did know
law
that.
is the West Coast?
I did know that law was the
Because
right.
you're
Law.
going out there,
Guys,
so
Going
make
there
sure that you know.
Saturday.
You what?
I said I'm going there Saturday.
I
I'm
know.
gonna be on the West Coast.
The
for-
West Coast.
for about 36 hours.
Like the great Lana Del Rey song.
Mhm.